I don't know what the hell you call these things, video blogs. I think it's in video 5 that I put in my application to the Mars, to go to Mars, that nonprofit organization. And they sent me my rejection letter in the mail. I just wanted you to see that. Now, when I applied for that, I guess there was some concern that maybe, I was gonna. I don't know what the concern was actually. What the hell were they worried about? What were they scared of? I mean, there were a lot of nuts that that made it down to the final 10,000 or whatever. Did they think that I was gonna, halfway between Mars, thaw myself out and like cut the oxygen supply to the rest of the cryo chambers? Anyways, that's not important. What is important is this, and that is that they're spending all this money to go to Mars, and that is billions and billions of dollars that can be used for other more practical, useful things instead, such as, and there's a whole list. We actually don't need to conquer space. We have plenty of problems right here on Earth, okay, that need to be fixed. We have a hole in the ozone layer. Why don't we spend the money on that? That needs to be fixed. There's also something about global warming. Someone's afraid that all the ice cubes are going to melt or something. How about corrupt governments? Why don't we fix that problem? Wars, world hunger, mental illness, poverty. You're going to have the same problem on Mars that you have here on Earth. Nothing's going to change on Mars, for those people to get there. We went to the moon, and what changed on Earth? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. The Earth was exactly the same when we went to the moon as before we went to the moon. And it's going to be the same way with Mars. Nothing's going to change. We could use that money for much more practical purposes, like sheltering the homeless. How about that? I heard on the news that California is suffering from the worst drought in the history of that state or nation, okay? And they live in the Pacific Ocean, okay? Now, mind you, 7/10 of the world is covered in water, okay? 7/10. And we can't drink any of it because of the salt. Why don't they take that money, okay, instead of going to Mars, and they find a way to diffuse the salt from the water? If they did that, there wouldn't be any more droughts. There wouldn't be any more deserts. We could irrigate all the deserts. We'd have enough fresh drinking water for everybody. I think there was this. I think it was in 4th grade, man. I had a black teacher, okay, in South Carolina. Mrs. Count. I hated that woman. So I don't even think they had a Black History Month back then. But anyways, we had to find out famous people, black people in history, and what they did to improve American society. Okay? So I chose George Washington Carver. Okay, he was that peanut guy. All right. This guy, I don't know what his thing was with peanuts, man, but I mean, he had, I think, and don't quote me on this, I'm not Wikipedia, but he had invented over 100 uses for the peanut, from oils to creams to butters to lotions to, everything from the peanut. Why the hell can't we use that same kind of determination and ingenuity for salt? It's the biggest natural resource that we have on this planet. There's easily as much salt as we have water. They're looking for water in the ground. Okay, in the ground. This is where they're looking for fresh water. instead of turning salt water into fresh water. The most brilliant minds on the planet, I'm the one who has to think of this shit. You know, because they're too busy building bombs for the government. That's what they're too busy doing. Okay? So, if, you know, there should be something that we use salt for other than making our French fries taste better. Okay? We need to invest all of our energy in improving this world with the resources that we already have on hand, instead of trying to conquer bold new worlds that, you know, have absolutely, like Mars, that have no water in them, on them. You know what's going to happen ultimately? Normally I never give the dates because I want this to be universal for future historians. Okay, I want this to be universal, timeless, but I have to put the date and time on this, so when it happens, you can look back and say, oh yeah, this guy said that years ago, okay? Today's date is 4/15/2015, okay? It's 4:06 p.m., all right? And I just got done watching Scooby-Doo. The thing is that I didn't even know what the hell I was thinking of, but whatever it was something important. Mars. You know, what's going to happen ultimately is that when you get enough people on Mars, they're going to wage war on Earth. That's what's going to happen. There's not going to be any more country versus country. Now it's going to be planet versus planet. Ultimately, that's what's going to happen. It's going to be Earth versus Mars. Just like the colonists broke free from England to start America, well, the Martians don't want to be a part of the United States government. They want to be their own people, their own planet. So they don't want to owe any allegiance to the United States, okay, regardless if, or not just the United States, the Earth as a planet, okay? That's what they always do. They always bite the hands that feed them. Ultimately, this thing about going to Mars is only going to lead to interplanetary war. That's the way it always winds up, and you heard it here first on this date, motherfuckers.